Good morning, everyone. I'm Aruna Devroy, and I'm an associate professor working with Assam Royal Global University, and I have a commerce background. Thus, I thought this topic would be apt to discuss uh, the contribution of commercians or people from social sciences, people from other background. How can we contribute our bit in bringing in innovation, in increasing, improving the economy's condition through entrepreneurship. So I'm also a mentor of change associated with ATL program. And through this lecture, I'll try to contribute my bit um, to the people of the society. I hope it will be of some help and we are able to gain a good lot out of it. So I've just started sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So, like it's a matter of concern when we talk about innovation, and it's only technical background people whose face comes in forefront when you talk about innovation, when you talk about inventions. It's only the scholars, students, and academicians of science, engineering, and allied health and medical sciences who take the lead. It is comparatively easier for them to come up with a technical upliftment in the area of research and innovation because they possess laboratories, undertake practical testing, and mix and match chemicals with their ideas so as to come up with something different, something new. Their way of inculcating education is such which involves practical insight. Such is not the case with us, social sciences, arts, law, psychology, etc. To some extent, psychology still has some extent of practical element in it, but the other streams are not so. And the way we are imparted education, I mean, that is totally different from the way the people of science, engineering, and technology background are imparted knowledge. Now, with the advent of NEP 2020, the change in structure, change in style of imparting knowledge and other streams have been able to see the light of the day. And an elevated role is being played by the government departments, like we have Niti Aayog, we have who has come up with this ATL program, and through this a great lot has been done in spreading awareness, motivation, and understanding in research and innovation. And well, these mentors are there. Mentors have been deputed from various streams who can speak on diverse topics, which has successfully changed the scenario and has motivated students to undertake innovation despite of their study background. So today's topic will comprise on giving a clear picture of how we can contribute in the area of research and innovation and entrepreneurship from having a non-technical background. So today, I have with me Dr. Rajat Bhattacharjee, Associate Professor from Royal Global University, who is also a mentor of change and who will share his experience, ideas, and views on this topic. So to start with, I'll try to justify the topic with the understanding, knowledge, and experience that I have. And then I would request Dr. Bhattacharjee to take over. So starting with the first thing that we have, what do we mean by non-technical background exactly? Now, when you talk about non-technical background, it means something which is not having the nature of technicality. It is, it does not include, general education courses. And it is something also not having the need for spatial knowledge about something, about machines or methods used in science and technology. Even MBA is a non-technical course, and other courses which are included are arts and social sciences. Now, when you talk about social science, we mean that the study of people as individuals, communities, and societies, their behavior and interaction with each other, and with their built and build technological and natural environment. Now through this we are able to understand like what actually non-technical background when we say we mean. We don't have spatial idea about the usage of machines or its processes, but then we possess a strong theoretical base through which we are able to justify the field that we are in. We specialize in a particular area that we are in. Right. So going on to the next slide, what are the different courses which are included under non-technical courses? When we say, we have languages, we have commerce, we have management, we have humanities. Under humanities, again, different branches are there, like we have social work, sociology, anthropology, we have public administration, admin services, psychology, economics, pol science, and all of these have their own specializations, and they possess the capacity to innovate. They possess the capacity to give something to the society in its own unique way. And all of these, they have courses under, I mean, for undergraduate level, postgraduate, as well as doctorate level, and each of their contribution till date has been very unique. In the field of innovation, we need to know more about each specialized area so that we are able to, I mean, comment on the innovation part of each of these subjects. Now government has taken a lot of initiative in different areas, and few selective courses are being highlighted here. Like first I would like to talk about the Startup India, which the government of India is floating. Startup India program, it has a lot of scope under its head. In the web, we can just go to the website and we can check it out. It has something called Idea Bank. Now Idea Bank possesses, it is a culmination of different ideas that is being floated from the government side to give different perspective, or to guide different innovators, or different students, different research scholars, academicians, like how they can contribute or how they can bring innovation. They have spoken about very minute things, like bringing in what can we do to solve the problem of food wastage, what can we do to solve the problem of water wastage. So each and every person are associated with this daily problems, or each day when we commute we get stuck in traffic jam. So how can we come up with a solution which will be very much cost effective, something which will be very much beneficial to the society. And despite of our background, we can come up with ideas. It's not that you have to be of a particular background to think. And thinking has no limitation. We can think to whatever extent we have, just that we have to limit ourselves to few things, like cost effectiveness, beneficial to the society, and to what extent it can be feasible to implement or replicate it in each and every geographical area of the country, maybe rural, maybe urban. How can it be replicated? How can it be used? It is not that I'm a person who is staying in so and so city, so it can be replicated only here. No, we have to come up with a global idea. Next one is we have Niti Aayog's mentor of change. So we mentors are there to guide students, to guide scholars, to guide our fellow mentors are there. We can discuss, we can collaborate, and we can come up with ideas. We can give solutions, feasible solutions to solve the problems of the society. So that is also a very, very great step, which has helped or motivated students right from school level to higher education institutions. Then next we have for social sciences, we have ICCSR, that is Indian Council of Social Science Research. Now they give funding for any innovation that we want to undertake through projects, or through any kind of research work that we want to do in any area. It can be related to agricultural things, like water hyacinth, which can be transformed into some consumable items like bags, sofa set, etc., which is very much common here in Northeast, water hyacinth. So ICCSR has taken up projects like this, and they have lead project academicians who take up the initiative to complete the project and come up with a feasible solution for the society. Next we have in our regional level an institute called OKD. Omio Kumar Das Institute of Social Science and Development. It is under the aegis of ICCSR, which is specially focusing on spreading research and innovation or research and development in the regional level in the area of social sciences, arts, humanities, and not with science and technology. So as my topic is related to social sciences and non-technical background, so I'm sticking to the institute, which is providing funding or providing help, mentoring, or they even give academic support. So they try to link up with industry academia, through which they're able to come up with some good contribution to develop the society, to bring in some stable change. Next is government support. How government is putting its foot forward to put up or to increase innovation or to improve innovation in the field of non-technical areas, like government spending on research and development. Here, like if the private sector is not having sufficient incentive to carry out research and development, then one possibility is that government fund can be, if we are not able to use it directly, we can have some kind of partnership, like public partnership, because it is always not possible for the government to spend a huge amount of fund in each and every project. So we can take some help from the private sector and some help from the government sector, and then we can collaborate and come up with research and development activities at college levels, university levels. Even this idea can be taken up by non-profit research entities. This concept of non-profit private research entities is coming up like wildfire now. We have a good number of such entities who are doing very good, and they are not only for the for the sake of establishing, they are actually engaged in doing some feasible work. uh, they do approach universities to collaborate with them and transform the students project and dissertations into some uh, feasible project which can bring some stable change in the society. And they are trying their level best to do it. They collaborate with universities, they collaborate with schools, and as I said, idea has no limitation. So like idea can come up from anywhere, from any level. So they are trying to put their hand forward and help the society to change. Text breaks for research and development, like a complementary approach to support the research and development activities can be this government's initiative in providing some tax benefits for the institutions who are actually doing something tangible to bring in some changes, and the amount of money which they get as concession from the government, this can be very well utilized in uh, spending in the research and development work that they do. Even if 1% they're getting some kind of rebate or concession, then that 1% can be invested in a feasible way in the research and development work that they undertake. So this kind of initiatives, this kind of benefit, if provided to the institutes or private agencies who can show some tangible result, obviously, then this can also be a great help from the government's side to the society. And then cooperative research is the key word now. Collaboration, culmination of researchers and coming up with a tangible thing which can solve problems. A group of people can engage themselves, but then when they come up with a fruitful result, it is called cooperative research. Engaging themselves and not coming up with something which is actually good for the society, or which is actually providing some benefit, that is not of much help. So when cooperation is undertaken, now in case of social sciences, I would like to say interdisciplinary research. I will be talking about it. Now this kind of thing, if we are able to take up, we can give much more benefit, or this can be much more beneficial for the society. I'm a person who possesses specialization in suppose psychology, and I try to give up a idea which can benefit the society, and that idea, if I come I'm not very much sure about its commercial viability. So let me take help from a commercial person from commerce background, and then try to see what can we come up with it. Then maybe something more I need in relation to government rules and regulations. Let me include somebody from law. Let me include somebody from management field, and then let us see what is the outcome. So cooperative research is is the key term which is being used in many different areas, and it has also given feasible uh, answers to or solutions to problems. Now, the scope of innovation in in non-technical fields, it's like the first one. There's a huge scope. Yes. Now, how can we identify the scope, or how can we work on it? As I said, interdisciplinary research. So the first thing which can be done here is the undertaking interdisciplinary research, because I am well aware about my area, my field. I don't know what is the what can be done when I join hands with a person from management background, or a person from economics background or political science background. That person is well versed with his idea, with his area. So if I'm able to identify a problem, discuss with people from various background, I can get diverse ideas, and through that, I'll be able to give something which is not risk averse, obviously, something, maybe risky, but then something which is cost effective, something which I'm able to get good, societal return out of it in the future. So this scope we need to harness by, at choosing the right mix of various people from various background, through which we are able to justify the idea that we have. Then it is not that we always require the help of science and technology to come up with some innovation. It can be done without the aid of science and technology as well. Now, when I want to solve the problem of maybe reducing the rush in a shopping mall, do I need the help of science and technology? It's not that important. I can design a process which will show that how the crowd can be managed or diversified in the peak hours, and accordingly I can suggest it to the owners. So I'm not taking the help of any science and technology to do so. What I'm doing is I'm providing a process, and this kind of processes can be patented as well, right? So it is not that we always need the aid of science and technology. We have our own brain, we have our own ideas, and we have our own tool through which we will be able to bring in some innovation, some change, and which will solve some problems in the society as well. Now, talking about the this patent thing which I said, it may so happen that we are not able to do it on ourselves. We have the idea, but then we're not able to actually develop it. Maybe something tangible we want to come up with, and we're not able to develop it. Then there are consultants, there are agents, private people who are working and helping people from non-technical background to actually convert their ideas into prototype. So ideas can come from anywhere, ideas can come from anyone, but then it doesn't matter we are from which background, but the thing is that how we do it, whom we choose, how we select. We need to hit when the iron is hot, right? So we need to identify the right people and then accordingly push our idea. Now, if you take up burning issue, but maybe anything from SDGs, maybe coming up with something which is sustainable in nature. Now, is it that for spreading awareness about sustainability, we need to come up with a product only? Not that. We can even come up with some, this green marketing area. We can come up with something which is ecological, an idea which is ecological in nature and which can be very well replicated in the firms. So that can be a, very well, well accepted thing, well accepted idea, and which, if implemented, can bring in a great lot of relaxation in for the environment, for the people of the society, and benefit the globe. So we have such consultants, we have such agents who can help us to change our ideas or into prototypes. Then we have the concept of IPR, copyrights and patents. Now, copyright is for is granted for a written work or works of artistic nature. So when I have written a research paper, and I think that this is very important in this should not be replicated by others, I can go ahead with copyrights, and it's not that costly also. With the, with sum of around 8 to 10,000, it gets done. If we are not doing it by ourselves, then and we are involving a third party, 8 to 10,000 makes. Comparatively, patents are a bit costly, but then it depends upon the need. Now, if you're having a process, if you're having something, different types of patent are there. If we are having technology blend of technology blended with our social science ideas, and in that case we need to go for patent, because we want to protect the usability of the process that we have. So then we need to go for patent. So it can be filed by ourselves as well, or we can even if involve agents in doing so. So it depends the type of idea that we have. If it's something in written, then we have to go for copyright, and something a process sort of thing, or something which is a prototype, a tangible item, then we need to go for patent, because we need to protect our uniqueness. So we can protect our uniqueness with such tools being provided by the government to us, so that in case of any kind of thing that we see, which can be of some help to society, and that has the capacity to be there for a long period of time, then we need to go for patent or copyright, so that it is able to increase its usable life. Now, this is the difference between invention and innovation. So we might have heard about it many a times, and this is not for the first time that we are trying to know about it, but then still I would like to highlight it, so that we don't confuse when we use it. Invention is something which actually leads to the which actually leads to the discovery of something, creation of something which is totally new. But innovation, it may not be such something which is there, and when we bring in some minute changes, and that change is again a visible change, by that minute change will bring a visible difference, then we say that it is something which we have innovated. Simple examples can be of like we have we had ink pens, right? Now we have gel pen, we have ballpoint pen, etc. So these are all innovations. Invention was the discovery of pen, and innovation is like coming up with the various variants of it, those variants which will given or provide some sort of change, but that change is something which is good, which is cost effective, which is giving benefit to the society. We have other points of difference as well, like inventions. Invention is something which is induced, okay, and which at times, if it's not induced, it can come, it's a free flow of idea. By mixing and matching some things, there is a sudden discovery of something, that is also called as invention. But innovation is always induced. We're facing a problem. For example, we have this traffic problem while we commute. So this traffic problem, if we want to solve, what can we do? We have flying cars now, but then that cannot be afforded by everyone, but then the solution is there. So that is something induced. We face some problem, and then we become when the problem is we are not able to bear the problem any longer, we try to come up with a solution for it, and that solution is called as innovation. Now, innovation is something which is always motivated by an economic idea. That is something which can be commercialized, something which can give some sort of monetary gains to the person coming up with the new thing, person coming up with the innovation. Now it also requires some technical help. As I said, if we have to go for patent, then some sort of technicalities should be clubbed with it. Technicalities will be in the sense like the process that we are showing. Maybe we need a 3D printer to show something which is tangible, something a prototype sort of thing. So we need some help from science and technology area, so that we are able to make our idea very clear while expressing it to the society. Next is that it is primarily driven by customer value. We try to provide some value to the customer, some help to the customer, some help to the people. This help, this aid is there only when we actually see the problem from a very close view, and then try to provide a solution to it. And well, other points are always there, like it is something which requires expert services, expert help to actually give it the form of commercialized project. And some examples are cited here. Examples include, like when you talk about iPhone. iPhone is a innovation, but the telephone that we had, landline phones that we had, those were inventions. So this kind of things are always there, and things will be innovated in the future as well. But then we need to see how are we able to contribute our bit to the society. Now, there are different steps through which we can implement innovation. First is that we have to see what is the problem that we are facing. We have to identify the problem. After identifying the problem, we have to see how can we actually convert that problem, I mean, solve the problem and give a probable solution for it. And then we have to see that how many solutions can be there, and then choosing the best possible solution out of the different ideas we have, the effective, the efficient one, the optimum one, and then prioritizing the particular feasible solution and taking it up to the level of something which we can call it as an innovation. For that, we have to elevate our idea, give it a form. Maybe we draw something in the paper, we come up with some prototype, we have to say that how well it, and we are able to solve the actual problem which is there in the market, or maybe the problem that we are facing. And then we have to gradually uplift, put in the various suggestions that we collect from different people, and then try to solve the genuine problem which is actually persisting in the society. So these steps are guidelines to convert our idea into a applicable solution. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship, now why entrepreneurship? It is because India is a vast democratic country. We are aware of it, and recently we did cross China's population as well. So, as our country is a huge one, we do not have so much of scope. 1.2 billion people staying in India, so we don't have so much of scope to provide jobs to each and everyone. We cannot rely on the other person sitting next to us to give us some employment opportunity. We live in harmony with diverse ethnicities and religions and languages, and nearly 70% of Indians live in rural areas, right? And the continuous inflow of people from rural area to urban area has been another cause which demands for gradual shift from getting employment to providing employment. There is shifting from job seeker to job giver or job creator. If we are able to do it, we will be able to solve a lot of problems that our vast country is facing. Our economy is based on agriculture. Now, agriculture based economy is not to a very great extent able to provide employment or generate employment. So we need to gradually see that how can we input some sort of technical abilities through which we are able to uplift our ideas and involve more and more people in it, so that we are able to see that entrepreneurship or the ability to give jobs is created. If we are able to do it, we will be able to develop a effective innovation ecosystem. And innovation ecosystem, it cannot be developed in a day or two. I'll do something new, and the person sitting next to me will be motivated, will see my success, will see how much I have done, and then will get motivated, and then will think of replicating, or maybe taking learning points from my idea, and will try to do something new, something good, through which there will be an increase from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. That way is this ecosystem will develop. But somebody has to take a step. Otherwise, it will not be possible for our country to actually provide so much of or so many opportunities to the youth. We have more of young population. So young population, we have a strong mental ability, mental capacity to take risk. Every idea that we come up with is not free from risk. The more we take risk, the more we gain. We cannot sit idle just for thinking that somebody will give us job. We have to see that we are able to create job. If we are able to do this, we will be able to justify our role as a responsible citizen who is able to take up entrepreneurship and actually make it a success. These are a few of the challenges that India is facing. Like we have the policies that we have. The policies are divided in different stratas. Now we need to see how and which one will be beneficial for us. Many times we end up choosing a wrong policy, and then its implementation also goes wrong. We are not able to justify what we have, how we do, where we do. It's not feasible for us to actually end up choosing a wrong policy and then get success out of it. So we have to be very much cautious that we are choosing the right policy, we are choosing the right technique, right support provided to us, and then walk ahead with it. Then there's a problem of funding, which is our evergreen problem. So we need to, in spite of waiting and sitting to get funds, to whatever extent possible, we need to see that we are able to generate it ourselves. I know it's not easy to, get a huge fund for research and development activities. It requires huge fund, but then we can apply for funding and then start off our own. By the time funding is approved, because it takes a lot of time, by the time funds come up, we are at a stage where we don't need to look back. We can just move ahead. And the process that we have here, it's quite lengthy, and that also creates some sort of problem if we are in the process of waiting for the things to line up. It becomes quite difficult. So we need to see that the process is able to, we are able to continue with the process, but then justify that all the information is correctly provided. And then we have low magnitude also. Low magnitude of deals means the number of angel investors we have, or the number of startups that we have, and the quantum of success that we see, that rate cannot be matched. As a result of that, this mismatch is a challenge, and we need to identify actually where is the problem. So there are other problems as well. We'll just sum up. Like we have other problems include, like, the linkage that we have between industry, researchers, academia is quite weak. That is not able to justify itself. One party is not able to understand the other and provide help, whereas a person from academics possesses a strong theoretical knowledge, a person from the industry possesses practical knowledge, and a person from the and both of these persons, if they combine together, they can come up with a very good, very unique thing. But then they are not able to actually adjust themselves, or this is not received that much of popularity. So this kind of problems do exist. And like we have non-conducive education system. On this my colleague will speak. We have like poor infrastructural problems as well. The connectivity, if a person from the village or rural area comes up with something good and wants to transform it or commercialize it, the person has to travel a long way and come to the city to meet his mentor. or to take help of the infrastructural facilities that is there. So that creates a great problem again. So this kind of challenges do exist. And then I spoke about the problem of the quantum of mismatch between angel uh, funding, venture capital funding, and seed funding. It's lengthy. They're not ready to take risk because they require a foolproof plan. So this kind of problems do exist. And then we have a set of entrepreneurs who are always busy in just making money, and they don't want to take risk. They want a foolproof idea. So that is not always possible, at least for the newcomers, at least for somebody who is innovating something for the first time. And then um, the protection provided by intellectual property rights are there, but then the awareness that is there, that we should take it, we should take the advantage of it and protect our ideas, that is lacking. That is not much popular. In the recent time, we see popularity is it's gaining, IPR is gaining popularity, or we hear much of patent and all only after government has started up with its policy on startup India. ATL is there, innovation ambassadors are there. So it's a very recent change which has been seen. Otherwise, people were not very aware to protect their rights, protect their ideas. So here we have like new policy initiatives which has been taken up. So few changes have been taken up, like funding. Government is trying to reduce the process or shorten the process so that the time consumed is quite less and people are getting the right help in the right time. Collaboration between or linkage between the stakeholders, they're trying to improve it, increase it. So and they're also trying to see that how risk can be diversified by addressing the various problems through innovative value chain process and involving even global partners, so that we can provide them an infrastructure so that we're able to collaborate with them and get the make maximum benefits. And these are the advantages that we possess over the people possessing technical knowledge about science or technology. Like we have a strong theoretical base, right? About we specialize in our subjects, and then we are given the chance to do internship, which gives us idea about the industry. And with the increase of activities under NEP, skill-based things are more preferred. As a result of that, more exposure is given to the students right from the school level. As a result of that, different ideas, different thoughts have come up in the society, and things are changing. Now, how can we succeed? To some extent, we can take help of the already available softwares that will make our work easier. I'm not saying we can get dependent on them, but then that will solve our save our time, solve our problem to some extent, because there are some ready-made things available. So those things will help us to, if we take help of those, it will help us to do a lot of changes, a lot of easy work for us, which can make our idea better. And we can stress on making a good team, culminating people from different backgrounds, and this we can justify when we have a solid plan with us. So next is interdisciplinary research, which I said is very much important, and this has given a huge lot of scope for developing, a huge lot of scope for collaborating, and it is successful idea which is on, and this possesses a huge scope as well. So I would like to end by saying that when we collaborate, collaboration is a key to success. We collaborate, we gain, because one head, in case of innovation, the idea can come from one head, but then when it actually needs commercialization, it requires the help and support of many other heads. We can conduct a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis, identify strong areas, and work on that, identify our weak areas and take help from others to work on those weak areas, and solve the threats that are available and get the opportunity out of it. And we should not lament on the past. What has happened. We need to see what is presently happening and how can we make the future better. So if we are applying our learnings, we will be able to give solution to a lot of problems which exist in the society. And now I would like to call my co-speaker, Dr. Rajat Bhattacharjee, to take over the session. Dr. Rajat, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Aruna. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Aruna. and I am also a co-mentor of change with Dr. Aruna. And when I received the invite for speaking in this session, I was very glad to join you guys. All right. Now, Dr. Aruna has given a proper holistic view about how innovation is very much fundamental to not only educate to the academia, but also to the various aspects of this economy that we are in right now. Now, what I'd like to point out is that Dr. Aruna has highlighted on the various framework which will help or support innovation to take the economy forward. And there's a question in one of the slides Dr. Aruna had asked about why entrepreneurship. That's a very interesting thing, because entrepreneurship, when we say uh, entrepreneurship is something which brings the commercial viability to us to something. Now, entrepreneurship, there are a lot of people who get the manufacture or produce. They have an invention, they have the product, but they're not able to get it to the market properly. They're not able to market it properly. So this is where entrepreneurship comes into view. That this educating the people with entrepreneurship principles or entrepreneurship aspects will cultivate in developing the innovation and making this innovation reach to the various masses. So this is an important driving force which will lead to future growth and development of not only the individual but also the economy. Now, currently we have seen that innovation has got a very strong boost in the various governmental policies, in the governmental strategies. This innovation will only have a demand if entrepreneurship education is made or brought forward to people. Now, you won't believe, day to day, I encounter so many students who have such innovative ideas, but due to the lack of entrepreneurship abilities, they are not able to realize the fruit of that particular invention or that particular idea to the masses. Forget about delivering it to the masses. Making it realizable, making the practical use of it becomes very difficult for them. Now, a lot of research has been started right now. I won't say a lot exactly, but a few research has started right now where they are trying to see how this entrepreneurship education can be forwarded to those backgrounds which are seemingly called technical backgrounds. Now, this is where non-technical backgrounds have an advantage, because especially from commerce, speaking from management and commerce and social science point of view, we are on a day-to-day touch with the human lives, and we understand the social problems, the human problems better. So developing a product which can be related to these problems will definitely bring viability to this particular invention or innovation as we speak of. Now, Dr. Aruna, would you please go to the next slide? Dr. Aruna?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, very interestingly, when we say innovation, instead of saying it as technical and non-technical background, I would rather try to use the words producers innovation and users innovation. I came across these words very recently. Now, when we say somebody is inventing something, that generally is referred to as producer's invention, because it's the producer or the manufacturer or the person who is doing this invention, the product or the particular aspect that is being developed. And there's something called users innovation. That is when there's a need, when there's a problem, there's a need for that particular aspect that needs to be developed, and innovation is forced that way. So Dr. Aruna has very clearly and very beautifully distinguished the difference between innovation and invention. And when we say innovation, it is basically we are relating to users innovation. Now, talking about this users innovation, I have accumulated a few of the cases or case especially in rural India, where some users innovation has been done. And these were all prior to 2012, prior to any such popularization of the word innovation. Now, if you take a look out here, there are 5 cases presented here. All these are in rural India, and these people who have done the innovation, all of them are they do not have a very strong academic background or educational background. To rather, you can say that they are not even 10th pass. If you see the first invention, it is given that he studied till the ninth grade. The second one failed in the 10th grade. Then there's someone with the 5th grade, and there's one other who is illiterate and all. So I'd just like to give you a small picture of what these inventions were. So the first innovation case is about the cotton stripper. Now, in India, the traditional process of separating cotton limb from its shell is manual, and this involves your separating by hand the lint from the inner side of the cotton shell. Now, a farmer, basically Mansukh Bhai Patel, he analyzed that mostly women and children were employed to do this. And in this particular process, the cotton dust is emitted, which is a serious health hazard which causes various lung diseases. Now, Mr. Patel, he understood the pain of this manual process, and because he himself was involved in his childhood days in this particular process. Now, he wanted to stop this. He wanted to alleviate this drudgery. But he was a dropout from school after ninth grade because of his poor financial conditions, and he had to continue his work in cotton fields and many other odd jobs which he had done. And due to these odd jobs, he had picked up mechanical skills by working as an electrician and mechanic in cotton mills. So I think it was in the year 1991 to 1992, he had developed a machine that could mechanically strip cotton from its shell by borrowing financial aid from his family and friends. Now, he tested this machine in the farm and built various prototypes before it operated as per his satisfaction. Now, in this particular process, he was helped by GIAN and premier education institutes like NID, National Institute of Design, Indian Institute of Technology. And he had also obtained the intellectual property rights protection for this product of his in India and as well as in the USA. Now, this Mr. Patel, he grew to 5 small firms with a turnover of over US dollar 0.3 million. So coming to the next case of innovation, that is Mitti Cool. Now, this is basically innovative clay products. Now, this person, Mansukh Bhai Prajapati, he was also from rural India, from a poor background. He had failed 10th grade and dropped out of school because of very meager financial returns. He did not even carry out his pottery work. And during this time, he was earning his livelihood by doing various odd jobs, like running a small tea stall or working factory and doing various odd jobs. So, but ultimately, he returned to his family occupation, which is pottery. And there were various incidents which led him to ultimately do some innovation in this particular craft that he had. Now, in rural areas, the earthen pots are a natural way of basically keeping drinking water cool in the summers. In 2001, most probably, there was an earthquake which had a devastating effect on the Indian state of Gujarat, and his pottery, his craft, everything was broken down. Now, what inspired him to do innovation in this regard was a photographer. This photographer had taken a picture of his broken clay pots and published in the newspaper with the headline "Garib ka fridge toot gaya." So when he came across this particular statement, he thought that they were calling his pot a fridge. So he just started experimenting with clay to make a clay refrigerator that did not need electricity to cool. Now, this led him to develop his clay pottery. And there was another very interesting incident with his wife. His wife wanted a non-stick pan for cooking purpose. And so he went to the market, but he saw that the cost was very high. It was around 450 or something. So due to poor financial constraints, he was not able to afford that. So he came back and he started thinking that, can I not apply my clay hot plates to make them non-stick? So with this particular need-based ideas, he had started working, and by the end of a time period, he had developed his innovative clay products like Mitti Cool clay refrigerator, non-stick clay tawa, and the clay pressure cooker. So this is how the second innovation had come up. Then there is the third innovation of bullet santi and biomass gasifier. I'll not go into very much details about those. Just you can see here that this bullet santi biomass gasifier, both were innovations of farmer and who were farm mechanic as well. So they did not have any proper educational background or technical background. They had simply learned the skills required for which alleviated or which enhanced their innovation. And both of them, these people they belong to poor background, they belong to the rural economy, like I said. And there's one more, the fifth case, that is of a rickshaw puller. He was also from the farming background, and he was also a dropout. And you see that formal education, technical or non-technical education, does not matter much when we come or when we talk about innovation. Innovation can come from anywhere. Like we have ABCD, anybody can dance. I would like to call it ABCI, anybody can innovate. Yes, invention may not be possible for everyone because that requires technical knowledge, technical competence, but innovation can be done from any background. Now, these innovations that we're talking about are before 2012, prior to 2012. Now, there is a need for creative economy. Dr. Erna, can we go to the next slide, please? So this creative economy is what theoreticists or academicians or economists see as the latest stage of development in the global economic scenario. Now, economies do not only need to be financially viable or developed, they also need to be creative. Now, there is one more term that we use as that is called knowledge-based economy. Now, from financial economy, from intellectual economy, we are all moving towards knowledge-based economy. Knowledge is considered to be the prior or the most important key element. So this knowledge will not suffice if there is no innovation, no creativity in it. So the economies, they need to be based, or the competitive advantage that they are going to get is based simply on their creativity and innovation. So innovation has become a very important element in our education scenario, you say, in our education policies, in every aspect of our daily lives. Now, you see, our Ministry of Education has come up with uh, these initiatives of ATL mentoring, then your mentor of change, then innovation ambassadors under AICT program and all. I myself am an innovation ambassador and as well as a mentor of change. Now, being an innovation ambassador, I'm looking into the various tasks or various processes or various aspects that are being handled by the higher education institutions. And being a mentor of change, I'm also privy to what kind of issues are being dealt at the school level. So before I go to come up with to those particular aspects, I'd like to bring everyone's focus a little bit on the NEP 2020. There is the National New Education Policy 2020. Now, this education policy has not come up suddenly. It is a need-based strategy of the government. The government needs to change the education in order to make the economy viable. Otherwise, the economy will be dead in a few years. I mean, maybe for some years it might last, but then it will have no viability in the global market, in the global scenario. So if you can take a look at if you have gone through the NEP policy, most probably you know, but if you have not, then let me just highlight that creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship, these are the three main elements which form the core of this NEP policy of 2020. Now, prior to this, there is a lack in creative and critical thinking amongst in the entire educational framework, which has not awarded any fruitful results. I mean, the repetition that has been happening in the education scenario, you study, you give the exams in the 3 hours that is allotted to you, you get the results, and accordingly you are done. No matter, I won't say it is not effective at all. No matter it is effective, but it is a very uniform way of studying which does not look into the various aspects of different students with different nature, with different talent, with different perspectives. So that holistic picture has been missing. And this has resulted in the stagnation of intellectual properties, local manufacturing, as well as self-sustainability. Now, this creativity will lead to innovation, and eventually that will result in the generation of intellectual property. And this further can be taken up for entrepreneurship and startups. So you see how these things are connected. Creativity, if you do not bring creativity, you will not be able to generate an innovation. Without innovation, the intellectual properties will not be generated. And without that, taking forward with entrepreneurship and startup will become very difficult, because if you're not uh, what do I say, legalizing or putting your ownership to a particular process, particular product, then that will be replicated in the market, and you will not be able to benefit out of that, out of your own creation. Now, this NEP has a lot of aspects, but a multidisciplinary approach will ease the divide between the art, science, and technical colleges, which is a very welcome move to prepare students for jobs in the future. Like I had already mentioned, I would like to emphasize here that in my day-to-day life, I have come across various students, uh, especially from technical backgrounds. They are producing, they are manufacturing, they're inventing a particular product or an idea which might benefit the society, but they forget to look at, say, the cost aspect, or they forget to look at the user-friendly aspect. They're simply focused on building that particular product, how it can be made efficient, how it can be served, how it can serve the purpose. But they forget about the other aspects, which is basically the part of a non-technical background person. But this is also not always possible, because a person who is building a particular machine or particular item must also have the idea how to commercialize it. Yeah, like Dr. Arna said, that collaboration is the key, but then a faint idea, a brief idea, everybody should be having. Even the non-technical background people should have some idea about technical background. And that is where NEP plays a very important role. It provides you a scope of taking some technical, if not technical, I might use the wrong word, maybe skill-based courses, which will help you to reinforce your stand holding in the innovation area. Now, in the longer run, NEP aims to make this education flexible and broad-based, so that your vocational and academic streams are equalized. And the focus of this framework is to allow flexibility to students so that they can select their field of study that aligns with their area of interest. And more importantly, NEP signals the end of rote learning. And the focus should be on integrating vocational academic courses, which will help to develop industry-ready professionals equipped with 21st century skills. And with the introduction of the various transformational reforms, NEP will definitely result in increased generation of ideas, which will lead to increase in SME and MSMEs and the productivity in future. Now, the NEP 2020 is no doubt takes a leap forward by, on one hand, promising to make sweeping reforms in education and research. On the other hand, it aims to create new possibilities for lifelong learning, besides making it industry oriented with emphasis on entrepreneurship. And Dr. Arna, I'd like to go to the next slide. Dr. Arna. Yeah. If you can look at this, these are the various key principles of NEP 2020. You look at all the principles: respect for diversity and local context, equity and inclusion, community participation, use of technology, emphasize conceptual understanding, unique capabilities, critical thinking and creativity, and continuous review. All these are somehow or somewhere connected with helping you to be creative, to be innovative, and to provide for yourself on your own, not to be dependent on anyone. When you know your local language, I mean, local language has been given a very great emphasis in the NEP in the school level. Why? Because when you know your local language, you'll be able to communicate with the community properly, and you'll be able to identify the problems. You'll be able to identify those, you'll be able to understand what kind of problems are exactly there, why those problems are there, and then you can help in finding out the solution to that. The monotonous way of study needs to be neglected or needs to be ignored, and critical thinking, creative problem solving attitude needs to be developed. Now, the very basic idea of NEP 2020 is to prepare a roadmap for entrepreneurship. Dr. Arna, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So preparing the roadmap for entrepreneurship. So the way technological development is happening right now, the magnanimous speed with which it is happening, the creativity that is flowing right now from the entrepreneurs. And let me tell you one thing, the entrepreneurs that we have right now, there is a big bunch which is comprised of the students entrepreneurs. And these student entrepreneurs are not only from the vocational background, but also from the academic background. And they are coming into alignment. They're integrating their educational skills to find out the various areas to which they can contribute, and the capacities that they have, how they can enhance that. And in our university itself, I have seen that there are various engineering students who are joining commerce related, entrepreneurship related programs as minor courses, as their not value added, as their skill based courses, so that they can have an idea about what this market is all about, how this marketing is to be understood, how do you make your product more market friendly. So these things are seen. And here I'll just share one more example of a student that I had mentored. He in his final year of his degree course, UG course, he had a plan of starting his own enterprise, and it was basically a medicine enterprise where he wanted to deliver the. His basic work was to look at the logistics, develop the logistics, and make it more easier for the users to access medicines at their homes, at their very doorstep. So I had been mentoring him, and I saw him how he had risen. Before completing his academics, he was involved in the logistics part, the management part, the uh, creation of the company, his own company, and all those things he was handling for his own. And by the time he got his graduation degree, he was full-fledged running his own enterprise. And he has also created a good name for his organization in this Guwahati market, in this local market that he has been taken up. Now, coming to the next slide, what I think personally about this NEP is that uh, the economy, be it the Indian or the international level, global level, the economy has been quite uncertain in the last few years due to Corona, due to other such mishaps. And some of the industries have gone obsolete, completely obsolete. So students should be given multiple skills oriented classes rather than sticking to one domain, to gain expertise in order to develop their personalities and potential, not because they may have to face problems with finding a job, but to enable them to explore their skills and passion. Now, this what was this developing or exploring their skills part, it uh, cannot be left to the chance that they'll grow up, they'll mature after their in their higher education, they'll be finding it. No, this uh, bent of mind has to be developed at the school level only. So at the school stage only, by giving them multiple skill exposure, will they be able to decide what they are good at and what they love doing. If they can find an intersection of this, they probably can narrow down on the scope of the area they want to further specialize in. Now, many businesses and industries have gone in the red. It is mostly because that particular business or domain is getting automated, and artificial intelligence and machine learning is taking over many manual activities. So you must have come across that NEP is enabling the students to learn coding and other such technical skills at a very tender age. So this is the time to innovate so that this obsolescence can be beaten, and this is where innovation becomes an important ingredient of entrepreneurship. This is also the time, I feel, to learn new skills that did not previously exist. And people, be it business or countries, if they do not catch up with this innovation cycle, they will surely get left behind. So The education policy too has to keep abreast with the latest skill and knowledge requirements and change the curriculum and pedagogy as often it is required. And this NEP 2020 is a very welcome initiative in this regard. Now, speaking of the rudimentary as well as the relevant skills that need to be rooted in a child, so that he or she grows their mind in an entrepreneurial way. The prime thing that is essential is having an experimental attitude. Like Dr. Aruna was talking about, entrepreneurs are not risk averse. Yes, this is very true. I have encountered a lot many entrepreneurs who are working as startups basically. Their main ideology is that give us the funds and then we'll look into whatever is done. No, that is not the idea. You will be receiving the mentoring, you will be receiving all those additional skills or values which will help you to seek the funds that you require, which will help you to utilize the funds that you require. But the attitude here is really not that of a developmental one, but more of a risk averse one. So this is very rightly pointed out by Dr. Aruna. And the experimental attitude that I'm talking about is that students should be trained to take risks. Yes, obviously, you take risks. Sometimes it will give you high returns, sometimes it will give you less return, not necessarily in financial point. At school level, you don't need to talk about financial returns and all, but it should contribute to your growth as a person, as a risk taker. So every theory and law that's given should not be taught to the students directly, but it should be experimented and experienced firsthand, so as to give an experience of actually inventing it. The students must feel that yes, they're inventing it for the first time. You talk about a prism where 7 colors are depicted, you just teach it in the class and you just help them to see it on their own. Obviously, there is a difference between the two. Reading and learning, looking and learning, and experiencing on your own. There's a vast difference. So this is where the tinkering labs, Atal tinkering labs come into view. And now when I have visited 2 schools, and uh, the work that I'm seeing in the tinkering labs is really great. The teachers, they are trying to develop this experiential learning. But what is missing is the entrepreneurial aspect. So in my deliberation with the school authorities, uh, we had come across a plan that while this experimental learning is being going on, there'll be some sessions which will be taking on entrepreneur, which I especially will be taking on entrepreneurship, so that they can have that entrepreneurial bent of mind and can help the society and themselves sustain themselves as well as provide benefit to the society. So these tinkering labs are a really wonderful way to develop this particular attitude in students. And they should be allowed to tinker around and discover a lot of stuff themselves instead of giving it just in a classroom. Now, this will, like I said, will help in creating an innovative mindset and also help in undertaking the risk. Now, one more thing that has a very important role is family and society. Now, the family members and the society, they need to encourage this innovative mindset. Just learning this stuff and discovering this in the classroom is not enough. The family and society then to encourage the youngsters to take up risk. And most of the time, the society is risk averse, like we have already seen, and it wants a straightforward route to everything. But it will surely help around for people if they receive support from their every nook and corner to take risk, to follow their passion, and then give actual deliverables which are really beneficial to them as well as the society. Now in schools, what can be done is that students may be asked to get involved in the admission process, running the canteens, managing the hostels, not necessarily the entire burden, but some aspect of it, so that they can learn how things work. They can have the managerial skills, they can have the leadership skills, they can have the coordination abilities, they can develop on those. And lastly, what I'd like to say is that those who want to become entrepreneurs, or those who we think can be an entrepreneur, have that entrepreneurial interest, we must be able to develop their entrepreneurial appetite. Now, the choice to do so should be available in the education system, not only in words, NEP has given us the framework how to go about it, but until and unless it is put into spirits, put into action, this entrepreneurial journey will not happen for a student. They need to do a lot of research work. They need to focus on the various innovations that are happening around, so that they can have an understanding of what, where they are, what they need to do, what kind of work is required from them. They can contribute on this on their own. And one of the most vital part is developing their own networks. Networking is one of the key elements to any entrepreneurial activity. So they should uh, be exposed to this networking background. And lastly, I would like to conclude by saying that students, academicians, and every individual must learn to embrace their failure quickly, so that they can learn the lessons from that and apply that in their further, uh, what do I say, invasions or further experiences that they're going to have. So with this, I think I would like to end my deliberation here. Thank you, Dr. Aruna, so much for giving me this platform for speaking out. I'd like to hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajat. Varia, over to you.